Hello YouTube, another video from me. So I have had 5 parcels turn up today. I bought a load of stuff off eBay and I didn't expect them to all arrive today. They were with my neighbour and it was a huge pile. So I thought I'd have a quick look and see what I've got. The first one I've got is this big bag here. I don't want to show the name of it, but it's ripping up at the seams. Now I think I know what this is. A little sneak peek there for you, you can work it out. So let's have a look. So the other day I was trying to make a video from a parcel I received. I thought wouldn't it be great if I just quickly came online, opened the parcel and showed you what it was. But unfortunately it was a return. Somebody was not in when they were somebody was didn't live at the address anymore. So I tried contacting them but no reply. So unfortunately I don't know what I'm going to do with the item. I might relist it. Anyway, so this parcel, I basically paid about £7 for all this stuff plus postage, which is about £3 or so. I didn't really know what I was buying. All I just know was that one item in this parcel, in this set of toys, was actually worth about 15-20 quid. So I thought I'd give it a go. It's quite a popular in-demand toy, so you'll see it in a minute. So first up in this job lot, we've got this little toy car. I asked a few people if they knew what it was. It's quite cheap looking. I thought it might be an early Transformer or something. It has the date of China on it. There's no date on it at all. But it's really cheaply made. I thought it might be a Transformer or something like that, but it's obviously just a piece of junk. So next up was this Batman car. Now I wouldn't usually pick this up because although I do like Batman stuff, this is missing the 2 spoiler pieces that go on the sides. It's like a long sort of ears, if you will. It's from, I believe, Batman Legends, Dark Knight Legends, something like that. It appears to have a few marks on it. The glass is okay. Not really sure how you open this up. Oh, there you go. Presumably Batman was sitting there, but I mean, brand new in box. They're about £25. With the all the accessories loose, it's talking like 15 if you're lucky. In this condition, it's probably worth about £2. Most likely, I will either give this away to charity or give it to somebody local. Unfortunately, there's not much worth money in it, and it's also missing, so I can't put it in my collection either. Next up is this Scooby-Doo character. They're very basic Scooby-Doo characters, but they do look like the 60s, 70s TV shows. What's the date is this one? No date on it either, but it says, I think it's series 3 maybe. It's a normal baddie. Strangely enough, Ghostbusters Scooby-Doo stuff is really collectible. People pay good money for these figures, which really surprises me because there's so many of them on the market. You know, you can't get hundreds of pounds, but if you had the whole gang and a few baddies and stuff, you can probably get like £30-40, which is crazy. Considering they're so easy to get hold of. I think back in the day, Scooby-Doo figures would have done really well in the 60s and 70s. I think Scooby-Doo came out in 69, I think it was. So I don't know why they never did them. But it's like a soft rubber with this figure. But it's probably worth nothing, unfortunately. Then we have this windscreen, which I don't think belongs to the Batmobile. The tabs look like they are alright, they're not broken at all. So I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, no, they are broken there. I'm not really sure what that is, what it belongs to. So if anybody knows, then give me a shout. And then we have this figure. Strangely, I didn't know what this was. So when I saw it in the job lot, I asked a few people if they knew what it was, who it belongs to. So believe it or not, even though I know a lot about James Bond toys, see, it's made by Hasbro. This is from James Bond Jr. TV show, cartoon show, which is an absolutely appalling toy line. The toys are very chunky made. James Bond Jr. is actually James Bond's nephew. It's so cheesy and so poorly thought out. I mean, why would his James Bond's brother or sister call their child James Bond, and why would they call it James Bond Jr.? It makes no sense. I usually thought, you know, parents' children would be called Junior, not as in like a junior, you know, senior and junior. I didn't know it'd be like for your uncle. Very weird series. It didn't do that well. These toys are worth nothing. You can probably get the whole series packaged in box, uncarded. There's many different. I think there's a few figures, and you can probably pick them up for about £150 for the whole lot, £200 for the whole lot. They're quite easy to come across loose. You do find them at toy fairs quite a lot. He's probably only worth £2, unfortunately, at the most, and it just be a case of waiting to somebody who wants it, buys it, which is going to be really hard. So I probably will just be throwing this into a job lot and get rid of it. So this character is Odd Job, believe it or not, and there is OJ on his medallion. I don't know how this. I don't even know why they bothered to make Odd Job in James Bond Junior line and make him look like this. A guy who was wearing a very smart suit and bowler hat. It looks like he should be in like Public Enemy or something. Or this looks ridiculous. It's like Grandmaster Flash or something. Absolutely terrible. But anyway, the rest of the toys in the lot. So next up we got this vehicle. It's a really odd looking vehicle. I at first didn't recognise what it was. I kind of felt it might be something to do with Visionaries. That's that kind of 80s vibe. But it's not. I believe it's Captain America's Secret Wars vehicle. Now it does look like it's complete. I would imagine there might have been something here, but all the canopies are intact. Unfortunately, it's not worth much. In this condition, looking at like £10 plus postage sort of thing. I would usually keep it in my collection because I actually kind of like the Secret Wars sort of stuff. But unfortunately, I don't think it's really going to be in my collection. It needs a good restoration. The plastic's not cracked, unfortunately, which is good. The stickers are ruined. The reason why I bought it was because of this. This is the Beetlejuice car. Now, I don't know much about the Beetlejuice line. All I know is it's becoming more and more collectible because people didn't really kind of realise there was a Beetlejuice toy line. And a lot of people love the film, and it's a cult film. And then all of a sudden they get told, oh, there's a toy line. So people try and go for it. And the toy line is I think it's based on the cartoon series. But the figures are going for quite a lot of money. Carded figures are going for like £25, £30 now. And I saw this and I looked on the price of it up, and it goes for about £18 to £20. A bit more if it's in nice condition. I don't know if this is complete. Stickers are slightly worn there, but they look all right there. I mean, with stickers, they always fall off, don't they? So it looks pretty good. I don't know how this works. If it's got like any kind of function. Oh, there you go. That's a bit weird. I need to pump that. Oh, maybe not. I think you might have to pump that or something. Oh no, it just flicks out and does that. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but it looks like it's not missing anything, as in anything broken, which is good. Nothing's snapped off, nothing's hard to find. So yeah, I paid £7 plus postage, which gave I get just £10. Also in the lot was this Hot Wheels truck. It's die-cast, but the back's made of plastic, so which means it's probably cheap. Kind of like the era where nobody really cares. It's just got stamped China. It's quite sad really because Hot Wheels were one of the amazing toy lines in the late 60s, early 70s. People loved them, and they were, very collectible now. Some toy cars are worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's ridiculous, like the ones that are like pre-production and stuff like that. Red line being the ones that you need to look out for. They kind of sold their soul. I don't know who owns Hot Wheels now, but nowadays it's just generic plastic crap. Some of it's die cast, but just being sold to at a really cheap city price. I think I'm more for pocket money toys, but it's sad that it's all just bulk made in China nowadays. 2008. I was maybe Mattel. There you go, Mattel in Hot Wheels now. I think actually Mattel was in Hot Wheels. I think so. What are they playing at? They should be bringing out nice die-cast vehicles and not flooding the market like they do. Give collectors like a bit of fun, actually going out and buying them, not just a case of just here's another 5,000 to buy this week sort of mentality. But I don't know what that's worth anything. I will look it up, but I expect it's probably worth only about £2 at the most. But I'll put it in my die-cast collection, and I will eventually do a big bulk sale with my die-cast. So that was it for that pick up. I have another 4 boxes to go through. So let's see what we got. This bag. Cool. So I'm starting to collect. I'm starting to really get into like American baseball, and one of the things I found out was in America they have a product called Starting Lineup. Now, if you're American, it's probably one of the most famous toy lines that you're kind of brought up with, really. I think it came out in the late 70s, early 80s. They went that way through the 90s. I mean, it's quite an easy toy line to pick up in America. So to find anything in the UK for sale is pretty rare. And I think it's quite common in America, but in the UK you just can't find it. You can't find them. You don't see them at toy shows, you don't see them at auctions, you don't rarely see them on eBay. But I thought I'd Google it, see what they've got, and when I was Googling, I found this one. So this is the New York Yankees, who I now support, my team, if you will. And this is Gary Sanchez, who is a very well-known player. Unfortunately, they sent this in a bag, which meant all this has got dented. I'm not really sure, because I can't see from the pictures what the quality was, so I'm not really sure if I want to keep this in package or if I want to open it up myself and put it in my collection. I don't think I'll sell it. I might just keep it for a bit. But it looks like I can't see a manufacturer label. It might just be Pepsi. Pepsi might have just done it as a promotional thing. It looks a bit different than the normal starting lineups, because usually they're just a bit more detailed, I think. But with starting lineup, I'm pretty sure you can get other lines like baseball, basketball, American football, that sort of thing. Sad that he sent in a bag. Another one of my pet hates is when sellers do that. I mean, I can understand if you're selling something like a soft toy, but when it comes to like a carded item, don't send it in a bag. What is going on? But yeah, Gary Sanchez, a very well-known Yankees player. Fastest player in Major League history to reach 11 home runs in a career. 18 home runs and then 19 home runs. Was tied for the fastest to reach 20 home runs. In 51 games he did that. He's the first Yankees catcher with multiple 20 home run seasons prior to his age 25 season. Selected to his first All-Star game in 2017. Gary Sanchez. So annoyingly, the card is starting to come away, and the card you get with it, the baseball card, I think it is starting to cause an issue. I'm probably going to have to open this now, I think. I might put it on my desk and work. But, you know, wait and see. And now we have another bag. So this is going to annoy me if I know what this is. So it's actually not a bag. It's Christmas wrapping paper. End of the day, I'm all for recycling and stuff, but when you're sending toys, don't send stuff in bags. You can pick up cardboard boxes from loads of places. Go to your local supermarket, go to your local corner shop, ask at work, ask at the local schools, ask your friends, ask your neighbours, go and buy a box at a post office. Don't send toys that can get broken in a bag, because I know what's in this bag now because I've just seen it, and it's going to annoy me if it's broken because it's quite fragile. So when I was a kid back in the 90s, my dad basically, I was born in 88, so back in like 91, 92, or was like 4 or 5, that sort of age, my dad went to a toy shop and they were having a massive clear out of all their toys, and this line was coming to an end. And so he bought loads and loads of stuff for me at cheap prices. But one of the things I didn't have was this. So yes, it's Ghostbusters. This is the yellow car that kind of flips up sort of thing and becomes like a weird centipede sort of thing, or not centipede, what's it called? Grasshopper slash. Is it? I can't remember what they're called. You know what I mean. It's a cool kind of car. I never had it. My friends had it. I always had the Ecto one. I had the Ghostbuster house, and that was pretty much it really. I had some accessories like the trap and the backpack myself, and a few figures. But this was like, I think this is £16 for this lot. I don't know how much this one goes for, but I thought it was going to be fine because it was sold like that. I thought it was, but it appears to not have a windscreen, and these bits here are now snapped, which is really disappointing because I might have to take it out and get a new windscreen maybe, but it's only going to cost me more money. It's just a shame really, but this will be sold off bulk. I'm buying a lot of Ghostbusters now because I should be telling you this, but obviously there's a Ghostbusters movie coming out soon next year, and the trailer's done very, very well. So I'm going to be going and buying as much Ghostbusters stuff I can. So either put it into my own collection and start collecting it myself, because I kind of really want to do it, but also to try and, as a business sense, flip it for some money. But annoyingly, this car will not stay shut. But I think it was about £16 I paid for this, but it also came with a few other bits as well. So first off, it came with some figures. So this is the mailman. And I think when you kind of like squish his head down, it becomes like an evil monster. Usually the tie's snapped off because these ties are really wafer thin. So that's quite good. He's a little bit grubby, but overall he's alright. Terrible face sculpt, or face paint, should I say. It's just one colour. And I suppose you don't really need it because you'd be like that most of the time. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He doesn't want to stand up. Then we have Winston. Now Winston always has this weird yellowing colour on his torso, which is a shame. He's got a bit of paint marks at the back. He's got paint marks on the front of his head. But the Ghostbuster logo is actually alright. He's not worth mega money. If he was on the card, he would be worth a lot of money. But he's missing his proton pack. He's really stiff, which is really nice. It's like really stiff. It was a shame about that yellowing, but he's still worth, £2 or so. He'd probably give it up for sale. So I've got a really nice one in my collection already. Then you got Egon. This is the one I had as a kid. Press your arms in, and his tie goes up, and his head goes, "Rah, I'm scared." He's actually alright. He's usually more yellowed than this, and the tie is always snapped. He's actually quite lovely. I might replace him with the one I got in my collection, actually. But he's good. He's worth a couple of quid. Next up, we have what appears to be some kind of construction worker, and I think he's supposed to put his arms down and his head to his back, but he's a bit. Oh, there you go. Let's pop his head down, and he becomes a monster. And he's quite common to find. He's not a rare figure at all. There's not many rare figures in this sort of period of Ghostbuster toys. There's probably a few more rarer figures, so I say, but he's one of the easy ones to come by. He should have these black things come out of his body, but I don't know how you get it to work. They're basically like little wings. Well, it looks like he's stuck. He's supposed to have these black wings that come out. Oh, there you go. There's his little weird... And he becomes this like flying, creepy bat thing. So he's pretty cool. Ooh, I'm going to put him behind here. Next up, we've got a figure I don't know anything about. This character here. I'm pretty sure he's Ghostbusters. Yeah, Columbia Pictures. He appears to be like a parachute skydiver, maybe. I wonder what his action is. I mean, it's probably going to be something with his head, isn't it? Arms? Nope. Legs? Nope. Maybe spin him or something? Pull him? Nope. So, for some reason, I don't know what his action is on him. But his head should come up like that. But yeah, he's alright. I've never had him before, so I might put him in my collection. I don't know what he's worth, but he's pretty cool. I need to figure this off a bit better. Then we have Peter Venkman, Bill Murray's character. His paint is actually alright. His eyeballs are a bit gone and his eyebrows are gone, but his hair's alright, and whoop, as it comes off. Most Ghostbusters stuff, they're always missing the proton packs. And if they do contain bits of the proton packs, they're always broken. So if you ever find proton packs, keep hold of them. And last but not least, we have Dracula himself. I actually really like his horror line. I figures they did. They did Dracula, they did the Mummy, they did Hunchback of Notre Dame, they did Frankenstein. I think they did Werewolf as well. I think he's supposed to have a cape, but his legs together and he shrieks. But yeah, so that was all that was in the Ghostbusters in that package. There's one more figure, which is pretty funny. So, if anybody knows, this is, I believe, Luigi from the Mario Brothers movie. So obviously Mario Bros. Based on the Nintendo game. They made the movie, I think it was in 1991, 92, that sort of period. And Bob Hoskins played Mario, and this is Luigi. I can't remember who played Luigi, but he was popular at the time. I don't know if there's any money in this. It might be one of those lines where, because there's hardly anything released, people go mental and collect as much as they can, or because it was rubbish, nobody wants them anymore. A bit like the James Bond Jr. line. But cool. So all that there was cost me £16, which might be a bit too much to pay if you're reselling, but I think Ghostbusters is going to go through the roof in the next couple of year or so. So stocking up on Ghostbusters is always good, because I know there's going to be a lot of collectors that want that sort of stuff. And I'm not going to make mega money out of it. I'm not going to try and be too greedy with it. But, it always helps out at toy fairs to have things that people want, obviously. Everything in demand. There was a period where, like He-Man is currently really massive at the moment, so if I ever get He-Man, good. I really like that postman. So on to the next package. So if any of you have been watching my channel recently, I've been collecting a lot of Topps and baseball cards and trading cards. And so I was googling around, seeing what I could find, what else there was out there, and I come across this. This is not a trading card set. It's actually for a egg set, and what it is a delicious candy Jurassic Park display set. It's basically the point of sale. So in the shop you would have had it displayed like this, and there would have been two layers with these eggs you should be able to open up, and inside you get candy and a little toy dinosaur. Now I remember having these eggs as a kid, and I actually had the egg for a long time, kept it into my teenage years, and then I binned it, which is quite sad. But I thought, I really love like advertising for toys and products. I actually prefer this stuff more than the actual toys. As you know, I'm an Action Man collector, and I have a few Action Man shop display signs. So if I can get anything to do with toy collecting or candy or anything or trading card related, I want to pick them up. I can't actually believe it. They actually sent this to me in a box, all nice and everything, no problems there. They sent it to me like that. And I would have thought that you would have just flattened it down, put in a mailer, or between the cardboard. And there is a bit of damage, as like stated in the listing, but it's one of those things where this is going to be very limited. When Jurassic Park stuff goes up in price, which it currently is, all Jurassic Park collectors will start buying Jurassic Park toys. When they have all the collection, they will go for the next things, and these are the things that they will start to go for. Now, you might not believe me if you're thinking, I paid £14 for this, plus postage, I think it was. You might think, oh no, that's rubbish, nobody will kind of want this old crappy box. But if you look at Star Wars collectors, for example, Star Wars advertising for toys in the toy shops, they hang down off the roof. They're called like bells or something, and they say, here's the next 20 Star Wars figures for you to collect. They go for thousands and thousands of pounds. It's the same with Action Man. That goes for hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And although you can get things like this in the Star Wars range from like Return of the Jedi for quite cheap, they're getting more and more in demand, and eventually they'll be, they'll all get picked up. So if you're into these sort of things, I recommend picking them up ASAP, because they look good in your collection if you're a serious collector. I say serious collector, it's a bit elitist to say that, but they look, if you're serious about your collecting in terms of getting things from a broad range of products for the line, pick up something cool like this. I mean, to me, this is really cool. I'm going to try now to start collecting the eggs. people ask silly prices for the eggs. Sometimes it's £5, £4, sometimes it's £45. It's ridiculous. So I'm just going to slowly go, over the next couple of years, try and fill this up. I don't think I'll ever find one of the trays that goes in here though. So I might have to come up with a way of making one of those, maybe from like an egg carton or something. But it's pretty cool, this box. It comes on the front, you see the Raptor, and I'm going to butcher this now, Brachiosaur, the T-Rex, and it's called a Spitter, which I'm pretty sure it's not his name. And there you are again on the side. There you go on the back. Now it should contain, I believe, it says it somewhere. I think it's 24 containers. So what I love about this box is it has like the warning signs, but like where the Velociraptors are kept, and as the amazing JP Jurassic Park logo. So I believe this came out in around about 1992, 1993, like that sort of period. I definitely remember having these. Just really cool to get this in my collection. Now I believe I have one more box to go. I really hope it is what I think it is. Because I've been wanting, I picked this up quite cheap. Well, I say cheap, I paid £32 for all this. If it is what it is. So it is what it is. I've been waiting for this for a couple of days now. It's not the most amazing lot in the world, but when you buy lots of items where they're all mixed in, you increase your chances of getting a better profit if you're willing to sell, or you also get a chance of finding some really good stuff. So I originally was going to pay up quite a lot for this. So I paid £32 for this, and you can decide if it's good or not. So first up we have this little, is it Cringer Battle Cat from He-Man? Now it's marked, if you can see it, which I never realised. It's marked Burger King. 2003, is it? 2000. Can't see my glass. Yeah, 2003. Now I never knew they did He-Man toys. I'm confident this is Battle Cat. It's actually quite hard. It's a really hard toy. It's not like the usual Burger King and McDonald's toys where they're quite flimsy and cheap plastic. This is pretty cool. Now this lot has nothing to do with He-Man actually. It's just strange that this was in here actually. Of all the things that could be in here, I think the person who was selling this stuff, it just has boxes and boxes of stuff. They're trying to work out what's vintage, if you will. But it's quite cool, this little Battle Cat. I don't know if he's got any value to him, but I might just keep him for myself and just put him on my store for £1 or something. But it's actually quite nice. It's really well made. The sculpt is quite good as well. I can't know if you can see it, 'cause it's quite dark in here, but yeah, he's cool. And so in this lot I could see a few things, and at first I didn't know if this was real vintage or not, but I saw Evel Knievel himself. I've never owned one of these, which is really bizarre because you can find them everywhere you go at toy shows. He might be the reproductions they released a couple of years back, but he's got some staining which makes me think he is real vintage. I never knew that he was it's like a really weird rubber. I never knew that. He's a bit too good, I think. Oh, you can see his face there. So he might be a reproduction with a vintage clothing on. Can't see anything marked at all, but it's quite nice. I imagine this metal thing here was to keep him attached to something, because the thing he comes attached with is actually his bike. Now I don't know if this, as I said, I don't know if this is the vintage one or not. I wonder if I can find a date on it. I think it's going to be like an anniversary one. So it has a number there, 1972, ideal. Chances are this is the real one deal then. The real ideal. This is pretty cool. So Evel Knievel with his bike, I think goes for about £50 if you get the helmet as well. I'm really chuffed that this is the case. This bike is really nice condition. It's got some chrome issues, like always with chrome, but it's not that bad. It's got a bit of a piece missing there by the looks of it. That might just be where his feet go. Oh yeah, it's one of those bits there in it, broken off. But still, it's pretty cool. I mean, I might add him to my collection because I love this period of toys. This is my favourite period of toys. So I might add him to my collection. But I reckon I could probably get 50, 60 quid for him quite easily. I mean, I know he goes for about 20, and on a bike probably goes for about 35. So that's not a bad deal. That pays for the lot of toys I bought. So if you ever want to buy toys, and you know, when you buy toys, think about what's in those lots, because if they all add up and make more money, then the lot's worth. Obviously, it's worth it. I know, obviously, it makes sense. But if you're after one item, look at the other items that you might not be interested in, because if they can make the money back, you can pretty much get your item for free, which is a great way of collecting. That's how I did my Action Man collection. Next up was this item. I was a bit unsure what it was at first, and then I realised exactly what it was. This is the Battlestar Galactica. I think it's called a Viper. It's a bit yellowed. It's a bit grubby, needs a clean, but the stickers are pretty good. Yeah, they are stickers. And the cockpit's still in place. I don't know how it comes out, so I don't want to break it. But I can't see a figure in there. I presume like something like this pulls back or something, and maybe it separates. There's a lot of. There you go. It's made by Mattel, 1979. Unfortunately, it's missing the bomb at the beginning bit. Now, if I'm right in saying so, you might have to research this yourself, but there's one with a bomb that comes out, and there might be one that doesn't. Now, with the Boba Fett toy line, that's not Boba Fett's toy line, the Star Wars toy line with Boba Fett, he originally was supposed to have a fire rocket packet, the legendary fire rocket, and it was not included because a kid fired one of these toys rocket into his mouth and unfortunately sadly choked and died. So they rejected it. So I believe that these were then modified. So this is the earlier version, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I need to check that out. Now, I don't know what this is worth, but I can imagine it's at least worth £25. It needs a clean, which I'll give it a clean. It's still got the bombs at the back, which is pretty cool. It might be a case of actually these bombs here go in the front, and I'm not missing it at all. But it's cool. I don't know how to open them up, so I need to kind of look into doing that. But yeah, cool. Battlestar Galactica. I've never had any of their toy line at all. Never had any of the figures or anything like that. So that is pretty cool. It might be one that stays in my collection. Next up, we've got some die-cast. This is the Starsky and Hutch car. If I'm correct, it's a Gran Torino. Yeah, Gran Torino Corgi. It's yellowed, unfortunately, and its chrome's missing, which is quite sad. But it's got some scuffs. I don't think this is worth mega money. I think it's probably worth about £3 or £4 in this condition. It's quite a cool car. Everybody loves Gran Torinos because they're some of the best cars ever. So that's pretty cool. Next up, I literally sold one of these the other day. This is the Buck Rogers, I think it's called a Starfighter by Corgi. So when you buy these things, obviously with anything to do with Corgi, they have scratches and stuff because the paint just gets chips, unfortunately, which is really sad. So it's got these two little things at the back, which I don't know what they do. These little buttons. Imagine they would maybe fire a rocket off the back or something. The cockpit doesn't open up, unfortunately, but it does have this bit here. Now, when I press this, the wing should open up. But it's like it's jammed, which is really annoying. I can get that to go. Come on. No, they're not going to open up, which is really annoying because those wings come out basically at an angle. If I can get them to come out, let's have a look. No. So they're supposed to come out and they pop out. They let little yellow wings like that. It's not worth much. Unfortunately, it's came out in 1980 towards the end of Corgi. And yeah, it's probably worth about £7 at the most. Which is sad really because it's quite a cool little ship. Bit different than all the other toys at the time. It wasn't like the X-Wing or the Viper, which copied the X-Wing. And now another one, another Corgi by the looks of it. This is Superman. He has these weird bombs that kind of pump out like that. I originally thought it was broken, but it's a little bit, but it's not. It's got his stickers. Superman's in there himself. I don't know why Superman would ever need one of these. If he's supposed to be, you know, the amazing Superman, he just definitely does not need a vehicle. And this is made by Corgi. It's a lovely colour. It looks really iconic and stuff. But unfortunately, it's got a bit of damage to it. So all these things add up. Do you know what I mean? I think that's probably worth £3 or £4. Now on to why I bought the lot, really. So I knew I could get a couple quid for this. This is the tool. I think it's made by Galoob. 18 member. Is it Face or Murdoch? It's one of the two. Maybe it's. I want to say it's Murdoch. But these were, you know, for £2 or £3. Nothing special. But it also came with this figure, which I have not identified yet. I'm pretty sure that's Kevin Costner from Robin Hood, right? It looks like it. I don't know if that jacket should be like that or if it's just aged over time. But you can buy these mint on the packaging for about £12. So these were worth nothing. But the reason I did buy it was because one of these figures. Now, believe it or not, this is a really popular line to collect. And it's Major Matt Mason. So it came out in the 60s. They're made of rubber, they're bendable, but I'm not going to bend it because I don't want to break him. They're very known for they perish quite a lot. As you can tell, the rubber has made all the paintwork come away. But even in its condition, with its original helmet, I don't want to take him off in case it breaks, but there you go. The helmet, I believe, is worth about £25. The figure with the weird spot on his face, I don't know if it's coming through or not. But together, it's at least £50, which is crazy for something which is, you know, deteriorating. A line that maybe a lot of people don't know about. Americans know it quite well. The British might not remember it. It's even more stranger that these go for £50, £60 figures. But you can buy brand new on-card accessory packs that don't even get £30 at toy fairs and auctions. It's really odd. Somebody will probably buy this figure and restore it. So it just shows that, you know, I paid £32 for this lot, this last lot. I will get £50 for him. I'll get £2 for him, that's 52. With these three cars, I might get as much £64 up to £64 now. With him, 65. I think he's probably going to be £3 or £4. So we're nearly at 70 now. And then with him, maybe another £50. So £130, maybe a little bit more. So basically I'm making around about £100 profit if I wish to sell all these items. Now, a lot of people might say to me, why are you telling us this? No. Well, the reason why is because I like the idea that toys don't get thrown out and binned by people who don't know the value of them. There's not that many Matt Mason figures, you know, surviving anymore because of the rubber condition. So rather than them being binned, I'd rather they came onto the market. Yes, people might have to pay up for them, but I'd rather pay up for something than have it destroyed. And also, I am a toy dealer. I have a toy store. So whenever I'm at toy shows, I know I need things to sell, obviously. And that's quite cool. It's like a action. So I need things to sell. So these sort of things always go well. He-Man goes well. A-Team goes well. Ghostbusters goes well. Matt Mason probably will sell online. The toy cars probably go at the toy fair. I'll put out for a couple of quid. Nothing major. So yeah, that's it really. I am expecting a few more stuff. I'm kind of glad this lot's come up now, so I'm going to start sorting it and cleaning it. Get ready for the NEC on the 27th of December. I'm hoping to see you guys there. Come support your local toy show. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it as always. And I hope to make another video soon. See you later.